Man, I had a good time doing that. I know last week I shouted these guys. I'm gonna do it one more time. Shout out to my co-host Kenny Rice. I just thought that he was fantastic. Absolute joy to work with, and quarterbacking it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It was cool to work with him. And I don't know if I had told you this, but I listened to him just to get familiar with who he was and how he did his thing on the on the telecast. And I was listening to the 2016 games with him and BJ Flores. Shout out to BJ.
Yeah.
And when I was listening, I was like, dang, these guys sound good. I don't know how I got this job, but I'm going to go out there and give it all I got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we made some adjustments and we had a lot of fun. I think Kenny, he was really looking forward to working with me too, which obviously helps. And then Jake Donovan, I really wasn't too familiar with him before going. And it's weird that
he did the damn thing.
Just a couple of weeks before I went out, you started bringing up his name a lot, and he started dropping a lot of news and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I know the name, but I'm not really familiar with him. But I mean, got plenty familiar with him from being out there. He did the research for us. He watched 200. I think last night, that last fight that we did might have been like fight 276. He watched 276 fights.
Yeah.
So, and even if it was 266 or 256,
it was also covering other boxing stories going on.
I mean, this dude was working nonstop, and I didn't understand how I could see him when we first went out there, and then out of nowhere he disappeared. So I'm like texting him up, like, "Hey man, just making sure you're good. I haven't seen you in a minute." He goes like in the room where all of the TVs are, and he watches what we do. He listens to what we do, sends us notes while we're doing it. And then when we all bounce, he's staying there working on his own stuff, you know, so dedicated to the sport of boxing. Make sure y'all follow Jake Donovan. And then my producer was amazing as well, Dave Harmon. Dave Harmon has worked with HBO for a number of years, goes as far back as working with Roy when Roy basically came on the scene on HBO, and of course, worked a lot of Mike Tyson fights. Also did the Inside NFL on HBO. And I mean, again, so you talk about Kenny. So for people that don't know, when you talk about a quarterback, that's basically what Carson does. He kind of takes us to the next subject or the next fight or what's happening, so on and so forth. And so when the quarterback on the telecast is the guy who will tell the stories, and then not only that, call the action and lead you into how something happened or why it happened, so on and so forth. And David was really smooth. Dave Harmon was really smooth about getting in my ear with little suggestions, not really telling me what to say, but these little suggestions. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. I got you. You know what I mean? And it was a lot of fun, man. I'm getting more experience doing this, and I love it. So, what's up? I'm Showtime Shawn Porter.
I'm Ant. Follow me on IG, Ant with 2 T's. Let's do it. Let's do it again.
Just introduce yourself.
Okay.
And then you tell them what to do. I'm Showtime Shawn Porter.
I'm Anthony Brenagh.
Carson A. Merk. Like, subscribe, comment.
This is the Porter Way.